Fitch ratings agency downgraded the U.S. government credit rating. That's the big story earlier today here on August 2nd. Now, Fitch reduced the credit rating from a AAA down to a AA+. Here's a little bit, watch this clip on ratings agencies and how things work.
Point Partners. How can Standard & Poor's help you?
Well, we don't understand why the ratings agencies haven't downgraded subprime bonds since the underlying loans are clearly deteriorating.
Georgia,
we stand behind
have
that.
you ever refused to rate any of these bonds upper tranches AAA? Can we see the paperwork on those deals?
Oh, I'm under no obligation to share that information with you,
Just
whoever you
answer
might
the
be.
question, Georgia. Can you name one time in the past year where you checked the tape and you didn't give the banks the AAA percentage they wanted?
If we don't give them the ratings, they'll go to Moody's, right down the block. If we don't work with them, they will go to our competitors. Not our fault, simply the way the world works.
Holy shit.
Yes, now you see.
One of my big questions is, why did this take so long? We've been running deficits each and every year since about the year 2000, so 23 years in running now. And you look at the Congressional Budget Office and they expect deficits to continue for the foreseeable future, 5 years, 10 years. They have not set a limit yet on it. So how do you approach this? What's a way to look at it? Is the sky falling? Or is this no big deal, or is it somewhere in between? I look at it as somewhere in between. Ray Dalio created a fantastic video based on his book around the Changing World Order, and he studied the last 600 years and various empires, how they rose, the reserve currencies, what were the factors that led to their rise and fall. And what he found as far as the reserve currencies, what we're talking about with the credit rating downgrade and the US dollar as the reserve currency, how does this downgrade all affect things? I think it's going to be a medium and longer term effect because the world still uses dollars for trade, and it's going to take other countries a while to get off of the dollar as the reserve currency. Now, a lot of countries have already started this process, 8, 10, 15 years ago, especially with the weaponization of the dollar and with seizing Russian assets around the start of the Ukraine war. Other countries are tired of being bullied, so the process has already started. So what am I doing? What should you do? And I recommend getting into more physical assets. Again, where it makes sense, look at your values, make sure it's a positive cash flow and a good lower risk compared to the reward you expect, whether you're talking real estate, whether you're talking gold and silver coins, other precious metals, farmland, water production, anything physical that you have some measure of control over versus the Federal Reserve can just raise interest rates and cause you a problem, or the U.S. government, the politicians can keep on spending more and more debts and the buying power of the dollar keeps going down. Get assets that have value and will have enduring value. That's what I'm looking to do. This was just an alarm bell. I had seen the data on this coming for a long time. I wondered why it took so long. If you look at that clip of The Big Short that we had earlier in this video, you can see why. And again, I recommend start getting into more physical assets and things that are outside of the control of the central planners. I'd appreciate your like on this video now.